So some of the things that I might do with these veggies kind of varies, depends on my mood, depends on what I've got going on in my calendar that week too. Just, you know, pro tip, don't make your menu plans in a vacuum. Look and see what you've got going on. If you have a busy week, don't choose a recipe that's going to take 2 hours to make. So no one needs to be told what to do with strawberries. I'll just be eating these later. Asparagus, I like to do as little as possible to asparagus, but one of my favorite things to do is just to spread them out on a broiler pan or a sheet pan, put them in a pretty hot oven, like maybe 450 degrees, preheated. Go on and toss them with a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper. Just stick them in the oven, maybe for about 5 minutes. You'll see the color will change. They'll get kind of bright green, and some of the parts of the asparagus will caramelize a little bit. And as soon as they come out, I'll throw some grated Parmesan cheese on there, maybe a little bit of garlic if I want, and just eat them whole like this. And that's probably my favorite part, my favorite way to cook them. A lot of people also like to grill them. I'll do that sometimes, but I'm a little bit lazy. So I find that the broiler still gives it that blast of high heat and encourages all those good flavors to come out. For kale, I get more creative with kale as the season goes on because I find that I have to keep thinking about it, as I mentioned, as the weeks go on. So some of my favorite things to do are to slice it up into the ribbons like this and go on and make that kale salad, or I'll throw it in my regular sort of luncheon green salad. So I have a mix of like romaine and kale and other greens. I really like to saute kale with garlic and olive oil for a quick and easy vegetable side. I also like to make big chunks of it, about that big, put them on a cookie sheet with a little bit of olive oil and salt, and go on and make kale chips with it. You can even hit those with a little bit of Parmesan cheese or nutritional yeast once they come out of the oven. I have been known to make a kale smoothie. I usually like to put bananas in my kale smoothies because it kind of makes them taste better, in my opinion. And I really like to put kale in something like a hearty soup, like a minestrone, or sort of a country vegetable soup. That's one of my other favorite things to do with kale. Snap peas, I really just like to eat raw. That's my favorite. But another way that I do like to cook them is, again, on very high heat with just a little bit of oil as a stir fry. You don't need a wok to do a stir fry. Just a frying pan will be just fine for the home kitchen. Go on and get your oil hot so it kind of shimmers a little bit. You can almost see the light kind of dance in that oil, and put in your peas that have been washed and trimmed. You can keep them whole like this. You can break them like this, or you can slice them up, but I don't really like to do that so much. And once they're in there, maybe you would throw them in with some other vegetables that have a similar texture, like carrot or celery or green onion. Just a quick saute, a couple minutes. That's my favorite thing to do. It takes no time at all. What else have we got here? Lettuce. The most realistic thing that I do with lettuce is make a salad, honestly. You can find other recipes online for grilling lettuce, which is intriguing, but I've not done it at home. You can make lettuce soup, also intriguing, but I've never done it at home. Sometimes I will make a roll up if I'm feeling like I just need to do something else besides salad. And usually what I'll do here is have something like hummus or pimento cheese or some sort of dip, go on and put it in the center of the leaf, sort of take away the part on the bottom that's a little bit harder to roll, and then go on and sort of roll it up this way. Sort of depends on your lettuce leaf how successful you'll be with that one. But salad is basically the way to go with that. And then Swiss chard. This is something that I think is really versatile because you can sort of treat it like spinach. You can treat it like a heartier green, like kale, or you can just sort of keep it in a class by itself. I do like to eat the stem. I'll go on and dice those up with onion and garlic and saute them in oil, and then add the leaves that I've cut into strips or just torn for a quick saute. I might just leave it at that with just the garlic and onion flavor. But a nice sort of traditional Sicilian method that I like to use to cook my Swiss chard is using sweet and sour flavors. So I'll put in, I know this sounds kind of weird, but I'll put in some raisins and some vinegar. It doesn't have to be balsamic vinegar, although that's nice too. And just toss everything together once the onions and the Swiss chard stems have been sauteed. It just has a nice, maybe unexpected flavor. It's pretty tasty. So another thing that I'll do with Swiss chard is toss it with pasta, garlic, and breadcrumbs, or make a frittata with a little bit of grated cheese. Lastly, there's carrots. I think carrots, probably pretty much people know what to do with these. I find that I'm going to be more likely to eat them if I go on and cut them up in sticks beforehand like I did earlier. A nice way though that might be a little bit unexpected is to go on and roast carrots if you've not tried that. Of course you can roast any vegetable on a sheet pan with olive oil, salt, and pepper. You can add the flavors that you like. I particularly like carrots with cumin and coriander, maybe a little bit of turmeric, but you can always look up recipes online to figure out what appeals to you. Once I've roasted the carrots, if I'm feeling really fancy, I'll make a really quick yogurt sauce, especially if I've used that cumin and coriander sort of spice mix along with the roasted carrots, and that's always been a hit in our house. If you've got a favorite way that you like to use to prepare some of these vegetables,